The experience of being snatched at gunpoint by a duo of dangerous bandits is a memory that will remain with 43-year-old Theo Cocky. The proprietor of Parrot's Nest, a quaint off-the-beaten-path lodge in Bullet Tree Falls, had just offered her guests a ride to San Ignacio and was making her way along a dirt road beneath a canopy of trees when they were pounced upon.
They pulled out a gun and they came to my door and opened my door, and the next one went around and got in the back seat. And he told me to climb through the center console, and I went in the back seat. And the one next to me had a gun, and the other one started driving my car.
Inside the vehicle was 18-year-old Kathan Cote and his sister Manisha. The siblings are on vacation and were on their way to town when they were held captive. They kept driving along the Bullet Tree Road.
And so we drove through the village during school hour where, there was lots of people on the street. They turned and they wanted to go to Paso Falls Road. My car stalled out on them. They couldn't drive it. They wanted the other people, the two guests, to drive it. Neither one of them knew how to drive, so they put me to drive it again. And they made us drive down Paso Falls, maybe, 3 miles. In the meantime, he was explaining what he wanted from me.
A ransom of $75,000 was being demanded of Cocky, along with a warning that if she alerted the authorities, her guests would both be killed.
So they took my two guests as hostages, and they let me go. And I hightailed, flooring it home. And the rest is phone calls to the neighbors and the police, and the boys in the neighborhood came down in record time, like not even 3 minutes, and there was a team of guys from our neighborhood out here.
Among them was Special Constable Chris Caridi. He suspects that the kidnapping was orchestrated by a pair of fugitives working together with Guatemalan outlaws to carry out the plot.
From reports that the police were talking about, that they have been indicated that they may have teamed up with some Guatemalans up by El Pilar to conduct this thing. And that's, at this point, that's still unconfirmed on speculation, but because it's a 4-man team, right? And the way that they moved and the way that they knew the village for them to be able to know, right, had to be a villager or an ex-villager of this village, because of the trails that we were on aren't known trails.
After systematically combing the area, the team of responders, including police and military personnel, as well as members of the public, was able to locate the siblings in separate locations.
The combination of the civilians and the police working hand in hand, I think what saved those guys' life.
Describe to me the assailants. Are they people familiar to you in terms of one particular individual they're saying is from the Bullet Tree Falls area?
I don't know. I didn't recognize them as boys from the area. I mean, I see everybody I see when I'm driving. I didn't recognize them. I thought that they looked, I was wondering what they were doing on my road, but they were well dressed. They didn't look like shady people,
While the village has since returned to normalcy, the frightening ordeal, says Cocky, may not leave her guests too distressed.
Their reaction, they were positive. They were really positive. And even though it's a terrible thing that happened, everything ended well, and they're not going home scarred for life, but they are going home shaken. But they had a good experience, all except for that in Belize. They loved their trip.
Do you feel as though this incident will affect your business?
It's a terrible thing that happened. I hope it doesn't happen again. I don't know what's wrong with these people nowadays where there's so much crime. I've never had a problem back at Parrot Nest. I don't see, it will maybe affect because everything goes public. But it is what it is. We'll deal with it as it comes. We'll certainly inform our guests. We'll do what we can to upgrade a little bit. We're a small business. That's all I can do.
Reporting for News 5, I am Isani Cayetano.